everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually just came back home literally maybe 10 minutes ago. I've had a meetup with Glenn, first time face to face, because we stay so close from one another. And we have a very close connection as well through through our spirituality. So we were able to have a meetup and just spend a nicely time together. And it's just amazing. These connections are amazing.
That's so nice. That's so nice. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for coming to talk to me. You know, I've been talking with you about your juicing and food and how, we feel like we're being called to change our diets. And I just think it's a really important discussion for how we are raising our vibration and what our bodies are, and listening to what our bodies are asking us to do. So I thank you for that.
Thank you. And thank you so much.
I know that, I'll do things like my water, my water and crystals and lemon.
I'm the same. And how's your day been so far?
It's been good. It's been busy, and it's my usual my usual day, for Monday through Friday. So but I'm glad, actually working from home is giving me an opportunity to kind of be able to do this in the afternoon on a weekday. But otherwise, it would be a little difficult, challenging to do that. But yeah.
That's amazing. Yes, so let's go maybe if you would like and talk about it. How is that changing for you right now, and how long it's been happening that for you with the food thing? Because some of us started earlier on it, some of us right now feeling so strongly guided to change what we eat, how often we eat, what kind of density foods we eat, and as well the drink as well. For me, that started changing quite few months ago at the beginning of the year, and it came in waves, very, very, very strongly at times, and it just keeps on changing. And I will go to that later on, but I wanted to ask you, how is the juicing going? How are you feeling? How is that for you?
So for me, actually it was right before my awakening to my awareness of the work that I'm going to be doing for healing. And I just all of a sudden felt like I had to pull meat out of my food. And so red meat, everything with meat. I was still eating fish, and I actually still do, as I'm a pescatarian. And so I slowly started removing red meats, which I really didn't eat much of anyway, but I think the hardest for me was bacon. That was really the hardest thing to give up. But and even now when I smell it, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you torturing me? Because
because I'm the same. Because I'm exactly the same. Yeah.
But my taste buds remember, right? My taste buds remember. And I don't know, maybe it's the programming, right? They say that we've got our programming. And so if that's the case, then that's, that's definitely what's happening as far as I miss ribs, I miss bacon, I want a burger. But there's so many great plant-based products out now that it's easy to kind of do a little substitution versus just eating, vegetables and that. But again, it's do that with a minimum because it's still processed, right? So you still are worried about that. But so then my journey went starting with removing meat from my diet. And then it started adding in different things into my diet. So I had to do more live foods, and I was finding myself needing to fresh fruits, and then it went from that to, I actually ended up having a session, and during my session I was told that my body actually struggled with legumes, anything that's in the legume family. My body physically, the DNA or whatever, doesn't process it at all.
Oh, wow.
So it makes me very ill in my digestive system. So so I was like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do? I need protein. So then they said you can go ahead and still have fish, and they gave me 3 types of fish that I could continue to eat, which was I was guided that I could have tuna, haddock, and salmon. So the majority of times, if you go out, say you go out to eat at a restaurant, it's salmon, and it's got to be wild caught, of course. So that's one thing that I ended up doing. And then after that, I was like, I feel like I need to get more protein in me. So I started doing my protein shakes. And actually I have here's my breakfast protein shake. So, and so I've been doing that where it's like protein, coconut water. And then I've been adding, I was doing like frozen berries. So like strawberries, blueberries, or fresh. I'd get them, fresh from the market, and then I would freeze them myself. So, use some fresh, and then I'll use some frozen. And so then after that, like just recently, and this is something we were just talking about, is I was like, I was walking in the aisle, and I was picking something up, and then I saw chia seeds, and I was like, oh, I think I can add that to my protein drink. So I just like literally just grabbed them off the shelf, and then I found another one that was chia seeds and flax, and I grabbed that like within the last week, Eliza. It was just like, oh my God, I need to add these. Like it was just that, that guidance that you listen to, but you don't always pay attention to. So I was definitely listening to it that day. So I grabbed it. And so now I've been adding them to my drink. So for whatever healthful way that's helping me. So yeah, so that's kind of what I ended up doing.
This is so amazing when you were describing that, Wendy, because we're driven, and I'm very much like you, intuitively into it. So I don't search through the books of explanations of it. The information just comes to me, whether it is a post or someone sharing something, or it's just intuitively comes to me, pick this, that looks amazing, the same for you. And with chia seeds, they have the omega-3 acids, which are very, very important for our bodies. Very healthy fats as well, fiber and protein. They're very healthy as well for our brain processes. And with the flax seeds, it's so important because majority of us is worrying about protein, but actually fiber is the thing that we need to worry about. Fiber is the thing that helps us process whatever we have in our bodies, and the old stuff as well. This is what I'm getting the guidance. Eliza, if you want to lose weight and let go of what doesn't serve you best any longer, let go of what you're still holding on here, you need to add up much more flax. And I just add them up to my shakes as well. And I absolutely love how you shared your journey, how step by step you started going there. And what I'm learning as well a lot is to just the same as you, absolutely have no judgment, whether someone eats this or that. Like I've never been into fish. So I've always, each time I would see a fish, even as a kid, it would be just for some reason, it's never been my thing. I always had the fish bone stuck if I would try. I will always get a punishment. I've always had it for having fish. But the eggs is something that I feel sometimes it calls me, because just like you, I stopped eating any type of meat, any type of animal product, and as well dairy. It will be now about 3.5 years, and I felt craving for bacon. If someone says bacon, I'm already ooh.
Yes. What is that? It's like
it's the pleasure thing. I think it's the pleasure thing, that this 5 seconds of pleasure that we get from it, and as well the memories that we have. When we go back to the memories, like, oh, you would have a bacon, and it would be Sunday morning, and it will be all this family environment, or maybe just you and
eggs and biscuits and
exactly.
But I have noticed though that now when I eat fruit, there's like cantaloupe, for example.
Okay.
I just can't even tell you how delicious it is. It's just like something about the flavor of it is so much more vibrant than in years past. And I think it's because I'm blessing my food now. I'm asking for white light to, go over and protect and bless my food. So whenever I'm eating or drinking anything now, I'm doing that. So I think that has a large contribution to my awareness of it. And then, I don't know, maybe it just makes the flavors more delicious.
I think it's everything.
So,
I think it's everything. Like I've been shown 3 years ago, like how to bless my chakras, and it improved my health and my awareness and opened my centers as well. And this is what I'm forgetting, Wendy. This is what I'm often forgetting, and usually because maybe I just don't pay enough of attention. But I'm forgetting so much about blessing the food. It makes the difference. It really makes the difference as well, how my body is absorbing it. And the last few months, especially if I'm processing something, so if I'm going through purging process, If I am becoming aware, like when was that? I shared that with few of my close friends. I was literally going through a grieving process because of letting go of not just only old belief systems, not just letting go of the old environment and old cases scenario that I would put myself into, but it's just as well these old connections that we have together with food as well. And it just came to me in one moment, you know, that I need to process that chunk. Instead of running away from it by grabbing food, I need to stay away from food. I actually need to go into more liquid foods. And when I'm eating these more liquid foods, that's when I process it better, because that higher vibration, which always wants to come to me, especially guidance, it comes to me and comes through my body much more easily. So my body processes it much faster and much easier. In the same way, it doesn't want me eat that much, and it doesn't want me to move that much. And few wise people already said that the higher is your vibration, the less you move, the less go you are, right? And back in the day, I thought the high vibration, so it's all that excitement, all that jumping in the air. No. Like the 5 weeks that I was home away from work because of my injured ankle, huge part of it that I was experiencing, it was that my guides and that energy literally wanted me to not move. I was taken away from even stretching, like yoga was barely even yoga. So yes, that's what I was going through. And you know what, Wendy, with food, recently it's all about the liquids. Even the soup is so much liquid and just few floating veggies over there, which back in the day it was a little bit opposite. It was just so filled with veggies. I like a crunch, I like a proper crunch. And it would be so filled with starches and carbohydrate. And now it's just more and more liquid, and packing richness into these liquids as well, like raw cacao, right? Raw cacao with almond, whisked well, heated up, and the nutrition inside is just amazing. My body.
That's one thing I definitely need to add. So how did you start or learn about the raw cacao? How did that come? Again, just found it?
It just came to me intuitively. Just all of a sudden it was there. So then I learned the difference between cocoa and cacao. So cocoa is very much processed, so we lost majority of the nutrients, if I'm saying that right. And I'm the worst person to ask about English. And then I've learned the raw cacao, because it has not been burned, it has not been through the process of grading and all that stuff. It has so much of these nutrients. And when I literally Googled it, it's just like a book. Magnesium, potassium, just everything, absolutely everything. It's literally like the best possible multivitamin. And you know Glenn from our group.
Yes.
Glenn is like a library. You ask him a question, he's just like, and then the answer flows. So he told me actually that the cacao, especially raw cacao, in nutrients is at least 4 or 5 times more rich food source than any other food source, right? So someone could argue that maybe kale is the most, rich and all of that. Apparently cacao, raw cacao powder. Not cocoa, but cacao. I'm just going to show you.
I'm taking notes.
So now when I'm buying them, I'm just buying like 3-4 kilograms. Because so this one is 250 baht, but I got like, I don't know, 10 of them. So raw cacao. I hope you can see that.
I can. Yeah.
Okay, organic, raw, it has to be raw cacao powder. So it's extremely rich in nutrients, and you can check that out just by Googling it. And this one I just get from eBay. I no longer buy one pack, I just buy for the whole month or two.
Because you know that you're using it. That's what I ended up doing with some of the protein that I'm using. And of course, as I've been doing it, of course, I'm using my own, again, intuitive guidance, doing body testing to say, is this for me? Is this good for my body? And they will tell me no if it's not. So then there have been some products, and then I'll look at the ingredients. After they say no, I'm like, well, why not? And then I'll go reading through the ingredients, and then I'll find that there is a lot of plant-based or soy. Well, which might be in it. And so I'm like, okay, so I get that. So I start to notice, like, what are some of the ingredients that they put on there that that I should not be eating myself. So then that ends up being where I'm like, okay, that was not for me. I think, you know, I think let's do the next one. But you do end up like spending a lot of time, if you're like not just in the supermarket picking it up, trying to like search through stuff online, because you're trying to read it, you're trying to feel for it, you're trying to like find your own guidance with it. And then sometimes I'll use my pendulum if I'm like, okay, I don't know, like I'm not really getting this fast enough. Just the pendulum always seems fast and easy. Like it, you know, my guides always answer me so fast with it. It just like comes right through with my response. So and it's so funny that you had your product and went and got it, because before I started, here's my chia, here's my blend. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, so this is the blend, and then of course it's got all the, you know, the non-GMO and all of that. And this is a flax and chia blend. And then I also, isn't it funny that you had your product and then I ended up grabbing, and it's like, not that I'm saying, oh, hey, this is the best product or whatever. This just happens to be what I ended up finding and buying. And then here's just the black chia seeds. And then again, with the whole, you know, non-GMO and no grams and I don't know, whatever's on this package. But I thought it was funny because I thought, well, what if we start talking about it? And I need to have that, like, as a reference. But yeah, it's definitely I don't know that I can say I'm feeling a difference, but I've only been using them for a week.
It's breaking. Yeah, my internet connection is unstable. I'm so sorry. It's just been playing with me since yesterday. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Oh no, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It was a nice pause.
Yesterday,
It was a pause to think about it.
yesterday I had a beautiful plan to join the Debs and Rick's light language call. And I joined the call.
Uh-huh.
Hardly I managed to join the call. And I couldn't see anyone. I couldn't hear anything. I just had to get off. It just wasn't working. But the reason for it was probably because I just had to process my own stuff instead of being around other people. And that's fine. That's okay as well. You know what I like the most? Because probably whoever is watching that right now would be asking themselves, you know, what to do. And I think the biggest thing that we can pass it on with the vibration thing, because all of that we do for our body is to raise our vibration, to, you know, let go of the stuff that doesn't work for us, to be able to hold the vibration, to be able to feel lighter and better, to be able, you know, to process whatever we need to process in a much easier way. But people probably will be asking themselves, okay, where do I start? Where do I go? And what to do? And YouTube is entirely filled with videos about how to go vegan. But I think the most important message that we can give them is to tune into meditation, tune into their inner guidance. At least that will be the message from me, and I will ask the message from you for everyone who is watching. Tune within what actually sparks the joy with the food, because every single food holds the energetic vibration. It holds the vibration and energy of killing, or energy of being, you know, suffocated, or it holds the energy of aliveness, like the fresh fruit or the fresh veggies, or spinach. Like spinach for me is just, it looks so attractive. It's just so beautiful. Whether, for example, a sugar or a processed food, it just doesn't feel good. I know I will have some pleasure. I know I will have this 5 minutes or 5 seconds of pleasure, but I know I'm gonna have depressed and start thinking after eating that sweetie, because that's what sweets and sugar does for me.
Right. Same thing. We get sugar in our house, and I will look at it, and then I'll say to myself, it's craving, like it's a craving. I want it, like little white powdered donuts. Those are my downfall. I want them so bad. And of course, when my mom's here, she brought some with her, and you know, went to the store and brought some at the house, and she's like, oh, would you want some donuts? I'm like, yes, I do, but I don't, because what I found out that happens to me is I'll start to like take a bite to eat something, like, because I'll get a craving, because this has happened over this last year, that I just know better to just even bother. But so I'll take a bite of it, and I'll be like, it's it tastes awful, number one. And then it tastes like cardboard. There's something about it being so heavily processed that it just doesn't, the flavor is just bad. It's just bad. And maybe it's, you know, again, once you start to go through this cleanse. And actually one other thing that I'm doing right now, because one, you know, we were talking about juicing and using how to, you know, how you make your green, like your green drinks. Because I keep getting called to, like, I feel like I need to start juicing. And so I'm like, I don't know what that all entails. So, but they, I refer to them as my guide team, my guidance team. So, that I will hear them, you know, directing me to do a detox or a liver cleanse. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I feel a big guidance for removing heavy metals. And so I'm doing a liver detox. And then after the liver detox, then I'm going to do just like an herbal detox. And so I bought the products for that, and I was like reading through, and I'm like, wait, I can't have, like, some of the berries I like to have. I'm like, wait, I can't have these berries. Wait, no. So I'm like, I have to get my mind around it. And then once I get my mind around it, I'll be able to, you know, read back through, see what the list is, like what I normally have on my food, and say, okay, I can't have this, I can't have this, I can't have this. And then to remember that it's not about what I can't have. It's about how it's helping this physical vessel, you know, that is supposed to last our entire lives and then some. So, and yes, okay, maybe we transition, you know, we come and go, right? And this is this life in this 3D world, but and who knows what other lives we've got going on elsewhere at the same time. But for this body to, you know, function at its best and its, you know, its most healthy. And I don't think it's so much healthy per se for the physical body, for the cellular structure of the body, but the body's ability to hold the energy of the high vibration of the light. And the high vibration of the light is physically demanding. It, and I know you've experienced this when you've got energy going through, your body will physically shake, or you can feel it moving. So it's almost like I can't remember who that doctor is that does like the water vibration test with sound, and you can see the water moving around just by the sound, and you can see the vibration of it. I can't remember who the doctor or the physicist is that did that, but I feel like our bodies are experiencing that during a high vibration. And so if you are not helping support your body for that higher vibration, that when the higher vibration comes, it'll knock you on your ass. You know, it's gonna set you down, and you're gonna be down for the count. And I remember when I first started doing healing sessions, I would be like, that would be it. Like, I would do one session and that would be it. I would be done for the weekend. I couldn't move. Had no energy. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to get up and eat. You know, it was like the bare minimum. And then I finally learned how to, like, use my energy, protect my energy. And then once, you know, figuring that out, and then of course changing my foods, that all assisted with, you know, how your body is able to, you know, manage each of the changes as you go through. Because I mean, as we have been learning, the energy is, you know, the human resonance is increasing, our, you know, the earth's vibration is increasing, and people are starting to feel that, and all that energy is got to go somewhere. so and if our bodies are not prepared, then yeah, we're gonna just, you know, people are gonna be knocked out. If a big wave comes, they're gonna be like, oh my God, why am I so tired? Like, it was a long weekend. You know, when that's not what it is at all. It's our energy that's being changed. And, you know, some of us are more aware of it than others, but you know, that's going to be changing in the future too, right?
Exactly. And thank you so much for that beautiful explanation, because you put it all together. You put it exactly all together, you know, for anyone who is seeking that information and understanding, because people think, okay, we should go vegan, we shouldn't be eating meat, but it's not like that. You know, there are people with high vibration who do eat meat, you know, and it isn't about judging anyone or telling anyone what should what anyone should or shouldn't. It's about literally every single one of us tuning within our body. And it isn't about, just exactly like you said, it isn't no longer about, okay, I cannot have this and that, so I'm losing. No, no, no. You are gaining. You are gaining freedom. You are gaining feeling within your body like you never felt before. You know, Wendy, I'm 38, I'll be 39 in a few months' time. I've never felt better within my own body. And that doesn't mean it looks better, you know, than ever before. Not at all. But it feels amazing. I feel brilliant and amazing, and I've never been healthier. Mentally, physically, emotionally, you know. So it works, it makes its deal. And this year we have been hit with so many strong energies. And thank God, thank the energy, thank the spirit, whoever you want to thank, for having exactly that stuff and these type of foods in my life already. So I was going through that process much smoother, much coming out of it much faster, feeling better through that as well, and not treating it as a punishment or going backwards any longer. Going through these energies felt for me like just another step of going forward, just another stage of my journey of raising my vibration, learning more about myself. And just like few days ago, literally realizing, oh my goodness, there is this huge big lesson that I need to learn right now. And within 4 days, instead of 4 months, everything was processed, you know. And this is exactly what we're gaining. We're gaining energy, time, enjoyment, you know. I'm able to have, instead of processing something in 4 months or 4 years, I can do that in 4 days and can be out of my system. And I feel absolutely amazing after that. Last night I went all of that process through these 4 days, finished with a massive healing meditation that I've done. And this morning I just felt better than I ever felt before. And it's all good. And it all, you know, it is connected. It is connected with what we put into our system, not just food, the sound, who we connect with as well. Everything that we put into our system, whether it's through mouth, whether it's through the ears, through the skin, it's all the food that we are consuming.
Yeah, it's so true. And actually, even with your water. Now, I don't know if you do this with yours. Now, this has been sitting on underneath my little water glass. Can you see this? Love, immunity. I mean, it's, you know, it's, you can tell it's, the water has been on and off of this thing 100 times because it's in kind of sad shape. But I mean, look at it. It's ratty, tattered. It looks like it has been through the ringer, this poor little thing.
Beloved.
The thing is that our water will absorb that energy, so that if you're setting your water on it, it's going to pull those words into your water, that when you're drinking it, it comes into your vessel. And I don't know that everybody necessarily thinks about that or even understands how that process works. And just because if you think about how our bodies are mostly water, and how water is, you know, electricity, you know, charges, you know, water, electricity travels through water. So just like it does through our vessels, our energy, that electricity of our own vessel, that when you're charging the water with words, because words have power, that anything that you're writing, either setting it on, or your pitcher of water, or, you know, or even writing it on the glass, you know, if you've got, I know you've seen like art, you know, like artwork glass where they'll just like write something on it, and you can, you know, use words of blessing for yourself, you know, I am gorgeous, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am loved, you know, I am immune, for, especially in this season of, you know, pandemic, that, you know, the kind of words that you want to use. And you know, I am a beloved mother, I am a beloved daughter, I am, you know, I'm a beautiful soul. I mean, there's so much more that you can actually put on there that will, you know, help to put that into your body.
I agree with that 100%, and it makes the difference for me as well. And you know, with the water, they've done the research that they've everything was scientifically proven. You know, with the water, that what kind of energy you put over there, that's exactly what it's absorbing, you know. I remember that the Dr. Joe Dispenza was in that documentary called What the Bleep, and they were exactly talking about that water. They've added the energy of something, you know, not nice, you know, and it was shaping and forming in a totally different way once it was one day added the energy and they were blessing that water. They were saying like, I love you, love, 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 love. They were, when they were freezing that water, it was coming with these beautiful magnetic beautiful patterns. So it has been scientifically proven. The information is everywhere out there, and everything you're saying is right. Now it's about us putting that into our daily, you know, daily practice. Like for me, every day making that cacao, when I finish my morning meditation and just before I will do my few yoga stretches, I do that cacao drink. And for me, this is always an act of self-love. That means I love myself and I accept myself as a divine being of light and love. And there is no other way around it. So already in this type of activity, there is already so much love within there, because I said so many times, just like you just said it right now, so many times to myself that I love myself and I love this and this is so good for me. And this is exactly what's been happening. And it's so with that writing that you mentioned with that card. I know people who are writing on their glass with a black marker. And I know people who are putting hands on the top of their jar, or like I've done it with my, I have like a jug with a filter. So I literally bless the whole filter that I use for a month or two for 3. So I bless this filter, the new filter that it comes in with all that, you know, beauty, love, light, ease, lightness, whatever I want. And it works. And it works.
That's amazing. I love that you said that you take the cocoa and you bless it and you say, this is what I do for me. This is what I do in the, you know, for myself every day in my morning. This is how I start my routine. And this is how I know I love myself. So, and I don't remember to do this all the time, but I love it. So, and I'm just going to share it with you. And I'm pretty sure I got it out of the 12 Archangels book of, I don't know, something, but it was one of my reading books. Remember we were talking about all the, you know, the list of books that was like in my library of like the 2 reads. And so anyway, but I actually read it. So, but one of the things that you can do is while you're in front of the mirror, imagine yourself from like every age that you've ever been, every look that you've ever had, every hairstyle that you've ever worn. Just imagine them all in front of you as the audience. And while you're imagining them as your audience, say to yourself that you are the one on stage, and look at yourself and say, I love you. And not only after you do that, blow kisses to yourself. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. And take your bow and imagine all the flowers that have been thrown to you on the stage below you, and look at them and look at your adoring fans.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
It's like, it's such a silly thing to do, and it makes me laugh and it makes me smile, and so it lightens me up to, you know, to start out my day or end my day with, and then take a curtsy, you know, do a little curtsy afterwards, and then you feel good. You feel good about yourself. And even I can remember when I first started doing that, I was like, all right, I'm not feeling it, I'm not believing it. But then once I started once I started doing it like a couple times, I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Sometimes I'll put flowers in my hair and be like, yes, darlings, thank you.
This is amazing. And you know what, Wendy? Very often at the beginning, people quit that stuff because their analytical mind tells them through the judgment, this is silly, you look silly, and they stop it. But the truth is, that stuff is so powerful. That stuff is so powerful. I would do similar stuff in my meditations here and there, and I would be, I think I would benefit so much more if I would do that nearly every single day. But I literally bless myself with the sparkles, with all that cosmic dust, and, you know, make myself feel that juicy energy coming inside, from inside out of me, and, you know, impacting everyone with love and light. I know I would benefit, because I don't want to say the word should. You know, should and shouldn't. I'm shifting away from these words, but I know I would definitely benefit from that so much more, because this stuff is powerful, and it's not only affects us and creates our own relationship with ourselves, which where you become your own best friend, you become your own parent, you're healing these old past, versions of yourself when you didn't like yourself, where you weren't there for yourself. But it as well impacts our families, our close ones, our friends, people like you and me when
Our
we
soul families. It even impacts our soul families, So everybody that's around you benefits from what you're doing for you.
yeah.
And then if you can have just one other person say, I might take that one thing. I might take that one thing and let me try that. That's one little step, and you don't realize how you are affecting them, and what they're pulling from it, and how they're are how you're the leader and they're following your example, or at least you're there to be an example for them if they decide to go on that path, or they start to find that path, because we all are at our own journey. And some people are accepting of it and some people are not, and those that are not, they can buck the system for as long as they want, and then it'll catch up with them. So maybe. I mean, everybody's on their own path, and so you can't judge somebody for saying, oh gosh, why are you that powdery donut, don't eat it. So yeah, but at the same time, it's okay to say, no, less sugar is probably beneficial. So
Wendy,
yeah, but
what would
everybody,
what would you say is the best thing? What would you say for yourself is the best thing that helped you the most with that food thing and processing these vibrations? What would you say would be the best thing for you, for yourself?
for myself, when I process it, it's just a knowing that I have. So ever since I was a little girl, I've always had an understanding and knowing. And I'll be like, okay, I don't know why I know that, but I do. And so, and then of course, years later, finding out, who I am in my role, then it made complete sense as far as, having that guidance come. But trusting that the guidance isn't, even though I'll always say, oh, them or my guides, a lot of times I know that the them is actually me, giving myself my own guidance. And so having that meditation time to connect and, tapping into your, and we always kind of do this, the higher self. I know, right? It's something about the center and the core, because this is where our chakra to our
through the chakras.
Yeah, it's like we're always doing this because it's, we're talking about our chakras. Our heart space chakra, but it definitely comes in, and the third eye, the clairsentience, the clear knowing that comes through, that the guidance is there, and then listening to it. I think that's an important aspect of it, is listening to it. You have to trust what you're hearing, and I'll say hearing, but hearing isn't also always necessarily like something you're hearing in your ears. It's telepathic. So so it's I don't know, maybe it should be telepathic. But we're, however it comes in. So just like I said, when I was going through the store and saying, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I saw the products and I was like, oh, chia seeds, I need that. I was like, I need to have that. So and then saying, okay, how am I going to add this into my diet? And right now I'm just adding it to my protein shakes. And I'm trying to think, how else can I use this? Can I, put it on a salad, right? Can I put it on a salad or something, if I'm cooking with it? So, well, I don't cook. If I could talk my husband into cooking with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wendy, would you like to say a little bit about yourself, when anyone can find you? Because your energy is beautiful and it is pure. We connect on a deeper level. I don't know what is it, but I have always the feeling when we connect, it's a little bit like sisters or twin sisters. There is so many similarities with our stories, with the way we connect with our own guidance and who we are beyond just this body, skin, and clothes, and the name and the labels. Would you like to maybe share where people can find you? Because there will be definitely people who would like to see and hear more from you. And I know you are producing beautiful content as well on your YouTube channel.
Thank you. So they can find me at 5 Mystic Crystal Skulls on Instagram. And after each section, there's an underbar. So it's the longest Instagram post you could ever find, but it's, 5 underbar, Mystic underbar, Crystal underbar skulls. So I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking.
These links, I will add them below in the description box, so anyone can just click on the link and they will definitely find you over them. So Instagram and YouTube.
And then YouTube. I've actually just recently rebranded that, and so they can find me as Archangel Raziel. That's Raziel with her crystal skulls. And then I actually have a couple of, well, they're always here with me, but I have a couple of them I'll put on camera. This is Arthur.
Can you explain a little bit about them? Why? Because if someone doesn't know anything about it, they could be like, skulls, what's that? That's scary.
So they're crystal, yeah. And this is Isabel. So when I was on my journey to discovering that I was going to be a healer, I was having a lot of female things going on, and then with that I had to have surgeries, and it was back to back. So that led me to the healthy road to begin with. So I was looking for alternative healers. I learned about QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, and I found a practitioner near me because I'm out here in Illinois. And when I went to the practitioner, we had a really good session, and during the session I heard myself saying, we're clearing out your crystalline, we're activating your crystalline DNA. And the reason that we're doing that is because you're a healer and you're going to be working with crystal skulls to do healing. And so, of course, I woke up from that session saying, what am I talking about? Because first off, I never heard of crystalline DNA ever. And I certainly, yes, I like skull jewelry with skulls on it and bracelets. I was attracted to that all the time. Clothing, I thought that was fun. Day of the Dead. The sugar candy skulls. I just loved them. I just was attracted to them all the time. So when I heard that to myself, I was like, wait, what? And then also during the session, I also said, she'll know how to, what to do, because the practitioner was asking, well, how does she work with them and what will she be doing with them? And I wouldn't give her any further information. So I had to go do my own homework. So then, of course, I went reading and trying to find out about it. And the interesting thing is that people have no problems with their crystals. Crystals are easy and fun, right? Oh, here's a dragon crystals, cool, right? Crystals are fun. There's nothing more wonderful. And of course, I've got them all over my workstation. Amethyst, ooh, I love it. I like how it feels. I like how it looks. It's pretty. We have no problem with our crystals. What happens is when you add the word skull to it, that people go, oh, not so much. But this is where our heads are, right? Think about your body with chicken with its head cut off, right? Your head. What's your body without a head? What is it? This is everything. This is where your thinking is, your being, your processing. This is where everything is in your mind. So that's where it is with my skulls. So I do use them. I use them for healing, and that's my journey with how it's with healing with crystal skulls. And then I was doing that for almost a year and a half before I had a session where I knew I was an angel. I had found that out already. And I knew I was an archangel. I had known that already. I had not known who I was as an archangel. And so through my own journey, through my own, meditations, one night I was writing, and after, because I love to journal, as you do too, I know we were talking about that too, that as I was writing, I wrote in, I don't know, I started working with markers and stuff, and then I wrote, I am Raziel. And then I was like, wait, I'm who? So that clarification came at that moment. And then, of course, in following sessions that I had with clients, I would ask during the session, because when I work with them, their higher self will come through, and then their higher self will talk about their guidance, what they need to know, but then they also will give me information. Sometimes I'll ask for it, sometimes they give it to me. So it depends. So if you're familiar with, Alba Weinman's work, she, it's similar, but it's different because I'm not doing the hypnosis. It's a completely different process. And I asked once, why am I supposed to be using skulls? Like, people are afraid of them. It, you know, concerns them. Let's say it that way. It concerns them. And they said, because God can use whatever modality he wants for miracles. What do you say to that? How do you say, oh, okay, never mind, I don't want to work with them? So, what I mean? So when you're given that guidance, you just have to trust your heart and say, this is working. And then when people are you're seeing results, you know, that's when you can say to yourself, well, something's happening. If, you know, if something's not happening, then it'd be different if I said, oh yeah, I heal with skulls, but nobody gets healed. Or, you know what I mean?
Absolutely fabulous. I love this.
So yeah, so that's my YouTube channel, Archangel Raziel, with her crystal skulls.
Beautiful.
I also am on Facebook, and I have a website, and I pulled out the extra in my website. It's just 5 mystic skulls, so I pulled out crystal from there, so it's a little easier to find.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so that's a little of my story.
And thank you so much for sharing that, Wendy. And I will link that all below. Anyone who would like, please go and check Wendy, check her website. The thing is that, and you've just shared it so beautifully about letting go of that inner resistance, that inner judgment. You mentioned something extremely important that I was resisting my whole life, that inner knowing, right? Until last year, until I started having really strong and big visions in my meditations, I was resisting that knowing. I always knew stuff. I didn't know how I know them. I just knew that I knew. But that inner judgment wasn't letting me to bring that up and use it for the greater good of myself or others, those around me. And you know, last year it became time. Those visions were becoming just stronger and stronger. That knowing was just there. And it was no more denying, and all I had left was just to dive deeper into that spiritual journey. And you know, at the beginning of that year, you know, that stuff came to me just like to you. I knew that there is something huge there for me. I knew that there is a huge big mission for me. And it was all about rolling up my sleeves, letting go of the comfortable judgment and staying in the background, and just let myself experience whatever it is that I need to experience. And as well, you know, bring to the people, you know, what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm supposed to do. One of is to literally help other people find out their own, you know, angel particle or archangel particle, and I helped few people already. And I came to the stage that recently I've been going through a massive wave on Facebook, and like within a month I've got about 9,000 friends requests.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't accepting everyone because I don't believe I'm in alignment with everyone. I don't believe who I am and what I do is for everyone, and I don't believe everyone is for me. So there is a level of, let's say, balance in all of that. But through that process, I was able to see, okay, him, her, he, and I can see that already. And I know there is already within me that knowing. I know sooner or later I will be on the call with that person. I will be doing that session with that person. I will be bringing that energy, and that person will become aware in divine timing. Because just like you said, every one of us is going through the stuff, and we've got to find this thing out in our own journey, in our own divine timing. It's not about us going to someone and telling them this, and that. You should this, you should that. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You are this and that. It's about us, you know, growing to that point. So thank you so much for shining so bright. I absolutely love you and adore you. You shared so beautifully, and I know already, right? We were talking about knowing. I know already there will be more of us doing that together here on YouTube. So
that's definitely a guidance that I have too, is that there's going to be more of these like joint, you know, these joint gatherings, so to speak. And they're amazing because they're so exciting. And you know, we've had this conversation before too about how energy flow goes, and I can't tell you, like, the last probably 20 minutes of this conversation, I am just like hot. The energy is just like just moving. So I hope that your viewers can, and you know, really get a chance to feel this energy coming through, you know, because it's exciting, it's fresh. You are beautiful. Your work is wonderful. I am just so pleased that, you know, that over these last several months that we have just really, you know, our friendship is growing, and then I hopefully one day, you know, one day down the road when everybody's able to travel again, you know, we'll get a chance to, you know, do hugs in person. So yeah, yeah.
No doubt about it. Wendy, for now, we're going to say thank you and bye-bye to everyone who was watching, and every single one of you who's watching that. Thank you so much for watching till the end, being here. And yes, stay awesome, stay amazing, keep on exploring, and we will see you soon in our next video.
Bye-bye.